Alright, this is my tier list of LeBlanc. Basically, mid lane 1v1. How does LeBlanc do against these champions? Alright, I categorized it into 6 different categories. First one is S, unplayable. Call it jungle or FF. So it's like the worst matchup. A tier is like suffering, but you can manage. Still garbage, but you know, manageable. And then close to 50-50 matchup. Slightly LeBlanc favored, but you fuck up once, it's GG. On the 5th one, we have LeBlanc favored, and then 3 matchups. Starting off at the hardest one, S, unplayable, call jungle or FF. We're gonna put Sylas, my permaban, right here, right off the bat. I hate this matchup. It's a permaban of mine for like the past 2 years. Ever since he was released, because you can land all your combo on this person, he can just press W and you just lose. That's just how broken and brain dead this champion is. And this champion buys Thorn's Shield with like Resolve second, and then you just get out sustained. Plus his W heals him a shit ton. So matchup just sucks. 1v1, impossible to win. This is like a season 13 pick because people only started playing this recently. But Zach mid, I played against a few of them, climbing on my way to Challenger. This matchup sucks. There's nothing you can do against him. He just heals too much, pick up the blob, heals too full. Almost all of his abilities can like knock you up and cancel your W, which is the skill that you max first. So this matchup is brutal. All you can do is just farm and try to roam or call jungler and neutralize him. 1v1, there's no chance. He will just push you in and dip. Too tanky. Too tanky, too annoying. Zac mid is cringe. If you play Zac mid, don't talk to me. We have Vex. This matchup sucks as well, but I wouldn't say it's unplayable because they are very easy to get ganked. She's not very mobile. It's suffering to play against it because her passive shuts you down. It counters a lot of dash champions. She has a shield and she has a fear. And it counters LeBlanc really hard, but it's not as bad as these two. Because you can call jungle once or twice, rush Merc Treads, you can still take care of it. But you will lose 1v1, 100%. Karma mid. This matchup is also suffering, but you can manage with a few jungle ganks. If Karma goes Radiant Virtue with some defensive setups, you will just get destroyed. She has a shield, she has a better W than you, way better wave clear than you. You cannot beat her 1v1 ever. This matchup sucks, but it's manageable, not unplayable. Also have Akshan. This matchup also sucks. You cannot win trades against him ever 1v1. This guy has a built-in shield. It has like a 3 triple proc thing. It has a double auto attack. Yeah, you just can't win trades. Champion is a lame bully. He can also rush Withstand sometimes and he just shut you down. So, not a fan of playing against Akshan. You have to also buy Seekers to survive on top of all this, so the matchup just sucks. Another popular one is Kassadin. So the thing with this champion, in lane, he actually sucks. Pre-6 Kassadin just farm and do nothing. But once he hits like level 6 and then later on level 16, you just lose. But pre-6, you can actually abuse him. But I also just don't like playing against Kassadin because you're on a timer. You know, if you don't win the game early, you are 100% gonna lose. So this is LeBlanc favored. I mean, to be honest, I feel like Kassadin doesn't even have a winning matchup. He will always suck early, but he will always win the game later if the game goes long enough. And now it will start. Oh, I almost forgot about Lissandra. This matchup also is very suffering, but it's manageable. If you go Merc Treads Rush, Lissandra will never kill you, but you can never kill her pretty much. And it's really hard to capitalize on top of her. She kind of just shuts you down. Suffering matchup. A lot of people pick this champion to counter LeBlanc in competitive and solo queue, so it's a pretty known encounter. But I would say these 6 matchups are just rough. Some of the more popular picks, we have Zed. I will put him right here as well, along with Yone and Yasuo. I play against these 2 champions so much in high elo because they're so popular. Zed, Yone, Yasuo is so popular. I would say at the highest level, if you play against these champions, it would be like a 60-40. So you'll win 6 out of 10 times. But the thing is, all 3 of these champions outscale you like crazy. You should win in lane and, dominate them, get prio. But you cannot mess up. If you mess up just slightly, take one bad trade, you are out of the game. You are fucked. You're gonna get dicked down the entire game. So you just can't mess up. I've destroyed many insane Challenger Zed, Yone, Yasuo players, but I've also gotten destroyed by a bunch of these guys too. It's really stressful, but LeBlanc actually wins 6 out of 10 times. Akali, LeBlanc favorite. Akali early game doesn't do anything. They just want to buy Thorn's Shield and just farm with TP and Merc Treads. Just farm, and then late game they outscale you. But throughout the whole lane, I would say it's all LeBlanc favored. LeBlanc actually can outpush Akali. She just doesn't do much early, and they play super passive. Katarina. This matchup, LeBlanc favored. I have played against some really good Katarinas that don't die in lane, and then stay even in farm, and then roam, like Cat Evolve. But for the most part, this is a very LeBlanc favored matchup, because Cat in lane just sucks. There's no good Cat matchup. LeBlanc just beats, just bullies champions like Katarina. But Katarina likes to win games off roaming. They don't like to lane too much. Laning is not Katarina's strength. So with that being said, LeBlanc shits on Cat in lane. I rarely see Talon these days because most of the time Talon just goes jungle because Talon's lane phase is not that strong. He plays the game with 2 spells. Like his E is a parkour, right? Doesn't do anything for lane. It just feels so easy. You can bully him all the time with range and just kite him. You go in and out, and then Talon just can't really do much. The bleed. If you don't let him proc the bleed, you should just smack Talon, honestly. Ahri, this is one of those matches that just feels very boring because Ahri just, at least the ones I play against, just rush Mertrez, take bone plating, take resolve, take spellbook. They just farm all game because Ahri don't really have any solo kill potentials these days. All the Ahris I know don't take ignite. They just want to push the lane and roam. They just want to neutralize you. They don't want to win lane. So I would say you have the pressure and the advantage over Ahri. Syndra, I would say this one's close to 50-50. It does feel kind of rough in lane, but you can rush Mertrez. You can just mechanically outplay her, dodge all her spells, and then once lane phase is over, when you go to the side lane where the lane is longer, you actually have a better chance playing at Syndra. I would say it's more so Syndra favored. With a bit of jungle help early, and after laning phase, you do beat her. So close to 50-50. All right, Lux. This matchup actually sucks. I'm not kidding. I am really not kidding. Maybe she shouldn't be here, but every single time I've played against the Lux, they all seem to be pretty good. You cannot dodge her E. It's up to her to miss. Seriously, that E is undodgeable. You have to rush to do boots, or you're gonna get hit by every single E. You cannot W4 because she will. It's like asking to get queued and snared by her. She has a W shield, and sometimes she takes barrier. It's really difficult to kill her if they're smart. And most Lux just likes to farm early and just shit on you later. So I find it really difficult to capitalize on Lux, especially if they're good and have awareness. If they avoid jungle ganks, you can't do anything against her. But I wouldn't say it's suffering though. Let's do 50-50. It's not suffering. There's only one matchup that I think is really free that you just can't lose, is Corki. But then again, Corki has the worst win rate in the game. Like, nobody even plays Corki. So that's why Corki sucks so much. Alright, Azir is a pretty annoying one. I would say this is 50-50. Azir is like a lane bully that likes to shove, like harass you with poke and range. But you do have the better jungle setup assistance, and you can call jungle and fuck him up easy. And you do have an easier time killing him in the side lane later on. So you just have to take TP, I think. Same with Viktor. Same concept with Azir. Lane bully champions, they laser you, they Q you. You kind of just get out harassed and outranged, but you have an easier time killing him later on with your team because they're very immobile. Also, Zilean is a free AF matchup, forgot to mention. Mostly because they don't really do anything in lane, they just want to wave clear. I mean, Zilean wins the game off of just farming and then protecting their AD carry, so laning phase is really hard for them. Alright, and we have Zoe. Zoe, I would say, is right here. Slightly LeBlanc favored, but you have to play really well and dodge all her bubbles. If you get hit by like 1 or 2 sleepy bubbles and you get hit by the Q afterwards, you're out of the game. You're out of the lane, so just don't mess up. Cassiopeia, this one's close to 50-50. You can dodge her Qs and play around her W, you win. Rush to 2 boots. If you get hit by the Qs and you get hit by the poison E's, you're fucked. She does outscale you though with like the Seraph's Embrace and Rod of Ages. Too much health, you just won't beat her later on. But laning phase, you play calculated. Don't get grounded by her W. Dodge all her ultimates. 50-50. It's like mechanical lane. You dodge her shit, you win. You get hit by her shit, you lose. Pretty much. I would love to play Anivia, but I haven't even played against Anivia this season at all. It feels really boring though. Like they just hug on the turret and do nothing. And then level 6, they just center turret with wave clear. So I want to say it's LeBlanc favored, but it's a boring matchup. Galio. Galio just feels like he doesn't do anything. He just wants to wave clear and roam. Like he never wants to kill you or have any threats on you. He's just kind of like a meat shield, like a punching bag that you just like slap around. Like even if you fuck up against Galio, it doesn't even matter because they don't provide much. Unless he just roams like crazy and kills your team. But in lane, he really offers not that much. I wouldn't even say Galio's the counter anymore. Just abuse him with range. Vladimir, not a big fan. So what happens is Vladimir just plays extremely safe early. They farm till like level 7 and level 9 where the Q is like maxed out and they just start sucking the wave non-stop. And sustain is one of LeBlanc's biggest nightmares. But early game, Vlad is just known to be weak. LeBlanc can beat Vlad 1 to 7 and then after level 7 you just permanently lose. I do not like playing against Vlad, but he's not suffering because early game he's not that useful. TF. LeBlanc favorite, just straight up, and TF just doesn't offer much. Wouldn't say he's free though, but he just doesn't offer much. TF is another one of those champions, he just wants to push and roam, kind of like Galio, except ranged. Haven't even been seen to lead in mids these days, but it's just LeBlanc favored. You rush 2 boots, you dodge all her stuff, easy gank setup, she's very immobile, and very easy to play around her W with your W, so this matchup is pretty good for LeBlanc. Usually Talia have to rush Mertrez and Banshees to survive this lane. It's tough for her. Play around her E. Don't get stunned by that and you should be fine. Rise. This is a popular one. Almost forgot. I would just say Rise is close to 50-50. How do I say it? He just wants to farm and push you in. We all know that Rise will outscale you because he's OP late game. Early game is kind of weak, he needs to stack with the tiers. And he usually takes like Resolve second and TP just to survive. Call jungle, kill him early, otherwise he's gonna outscale you and then shut down your whole team. Early game his wave clear is not that great, but later on you cannot match him. I have not seen Annie this season, so I'm not gonna put her here, but she should be, I don't know, I don't have trouble against Annies. Let's just say it, LeBlanc favored. Aurelion Sol is free AF, by the way. Nobody plays him for a reason, and there's a reason he's getting reworked. So he's just too free. He cannot do anything against LeBlanc. I eat him up for breakfast. Ekko, LeBlanc favored. I see Ekko miss sometimes. He just wants to clear the wave. Q. Doesn't really offer too much aside from clearing waves. Fizz, LeBlanc favored. You just have to play around his E. That's pretty much it. If you get hit the chain, he's screwed. You could mess up. If you mess up a couple times, you're really screwed because Fizz is very good at snowballing. I never messed up on Fizz against Fizz. I played against his matches so many times. But if you mess up once, you're messed up. I mean, you're done for. But like, dude, but no, I'll put it here. It's just so LeBlanc favored. Diana mid, LeBlanc favored, but you fuck up once, it's GG, pretty much. I would say 1v1 is kind of hard to kill her. She's actually pretty beefy with the W, and it's really hard to dodge her Qs. Like, the hitbox is not balanced. And usually when I play against Diana, I do not rush boots. I take mid and DMAT. So you will always get hit by every Q, sadly. And the W, it makes her too tanky to kill. I would say it's close to 50-50. Irelia. I slap Irelia pretty hard in lane, but Irelia is one of those champions. If she plays perfectly, she can destroy any champion in the game. But for the most part, I think this matchup will be good for you. Just don't get hit by her E's, and you should be good. Jayce mid, this one I do see sometimes. I would say this one is just slightly LeBlanc favored. But again, don't fuck up. Don't trade against him level 1, and after that, should be easy to play around. He's really easy to get ganked by junglers. Malzahar isn't too hard, because Malzahar, all he wants to do is push, and scale. And you can easily capitalize that when he walks up to the wave. Call your jungler, gank him, done. I think we're almost done here. Okay, Orianna. Orianna is actually a very strong laner. If it's 1v1, Orianna actually beats you. She just takes one jungle gank for you to start snowballing, and you will beat her in the side lane. But I've had games where I'm playing against Orianna, and I have no jungle ganks, and she just fucking dog piles on me the entire game. It's hard. Ori is actually very underrated, and she's actually very strong in lane. But people pick LeBlanc into Ori as a counter pick because you play mid jungle, you gank her, because she's very vulnerable to ganks. I've seen some Swain mids, it's LeBlanc favored. You play on the E, you just farm him. Qiyana. It is LeBlanc favored. It's one of those matches where if you mess up slightly, you're fucked. Because Qiyana is too good at snowballing. If you play perfectly, you should beat her. Nobody plays Xerath mid. It's one of the worst champions in the game in high elo. Like, just no one plays it. There's a reason why he's only appears in support role. But if he were to be played, it's LeBlanc favored, trust me. Rush tier 2 boots, dodge all his spells because his champion is entirely all skill shots. And you have to be really insane to pull him off. Like, you have to be like swag level. Veigar, oh yeah, boring matchup, free, you just farm him. Offers nothing early, he just wants to like farm, and you just have all the priority in the world. Just make sure the game doesn't go to like 30 minutes plus and you win the game. I've not seen a Vel'Koz this season because most of the time Vel'Koz is being played as an AD carry or support. So, but I would say he's very similar to Xerath. I have seen some Kennen mid, but LeBlanc does beat Kennen because I feel like Kennen is more so played as a top laner. You just literally out-trade him every single way possible. Because he's gonna throw Qs at you, right? And you can just stand behind your minions. And then whenever he walks up, you QW him. And then he can't do anything about it. Nobody plays Neeko mid. Actually, Morgana and Neeko are tough matchups, but like nobody plays them mid lane. So I wouldn't worry about them. Actually, I've seen a couple Rumble mids. He just pushes you in and roam. And it's hard for you to kill him because he's kind of beefy. If your jungler is not a dumbass and he ganks the Rumble mid with you, you can actually shut him down. But he barely lanes. He just push you in and roam. 50-50. No 6 mid. That's it. That is it. That is all the mid laners. Popular ones. Like, these are not mid laners. If they're playing this, it's off meta and they're probably gonna lose because they suck. Vladimir cannot do anything against you. You're a ranged champion. He has to push you in. He just push and leaves. If I had to put, it's LeBlanc favored. Tristana, I don't know what to put him, to be honest. LeBlanc favored. If he doesn't rush Hex Drinker, you're good. Because you just win trades. LeBlanc is very good at beating and killing 80 carries. But Tristana does have some insane damage, so don't underestimate him. If you mess up once and he snowballs, you're fucked. Yep, I think that's it. I think this is pretty accurate, honestly. Wow, looking at it, LeBlanc has a lot of good matchups. These champions are just not being played that much. I'm not kidding. All the champions that are in meta are these guys. And they all fuck you up. Maybe like these champion people play, but like everybody plays these champions. So it looks like LeBlanc is in a great spot, but all the meta champions are here, so we're fucked.